Good afternoon. I'm BJ Tatro, and I'm joined by some of my colleagues who are going to talk to you a little bit about how they've made program evaluation part of the culture of their organizations. Mattie and Paul, would you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your organizations?
I'm Mattie Cummins. I'm the Executive Director of the Brain Injury Association of Arizona. We've been around for 25 years and currently have 5 full-time and 1 part-time employees.
Thank you, Mattie.
And I'm Paul Mortensen with the Arizona Spinal Cord Injury Association. And we've been around for 10 years, and I have 3 full-time employees.
Thanks. How did you come to make program evaluation a part of the way you do business? Paul, you want to take that?
We started right when we started the organization about 10 years ago by making program evaluation something that we knew we needed to do. In order to know how you're doing it as an organization, you have to have some way of evaluating it. And so we knew that evaluations were important. And one of the very first evaluations we did was a focus group where we went across the state and found out what the needs were of the individuals who had a spinal cord injury and how we as an association could develop programs that would meet their needs. And so we have been doing program evaluation almost from the very beginning.
Thanks, Paul. Mattie, how about you?
You know, I'm a social worker, and so they really stress assessment and evaluation in both the bachelor's and master's degrees. And when I came to the association 3 years ago, they had started they were doing some evaluations through specific programs. And so it's just, we've increased the amounts of evaluations we're doing, and it's just become a part of who we are as an agency.
And I understand that you introduce an evaluation component for all the new programs that you develop.
Absolutely, because I just don't believe you can know how the program is doing without evaluating it from your constituents.
How do you do program evaluation? What kind of strategies have you employed that you found useful?
Well, we've done many different things. We've recently started doing online surveys, which are really great tools to be able to get it to people that have that technology. But we also do mail surveys, and we have satisfaction surveys we do with one of our programs, which is information and referral.
And Paul, how about you?
And we do a lot of the same type. We also, when we do a program, we actually do an evaluation at the end of the program, try to get the people to fill out that evaluation right there. And one of the things that we did when we first started is we had these big, long evaluations, and we've kind of shortened them down to make them easy to fill out, but at the same time getting all the data that we need so that we can incorporate what the needs are.
I understand that you do an annual evaluation that you mail out to all of your members to get at some of the programs that are more difficult to assess, like your social recreation programs and such.
Right. Some of our programs that we do are off-site, and it's difficult to get an evaluation at the end of the program, so we do a mailing once a year where we ask our consumers about the different programs as they participated in them, what they liked about them, what they disliked about them, what we can do to improve those programs, and that goes out in a mailing once a year to all of our members.
Okay, excellent. How do you use program evaluation results?
You know, I think that you use, it's about planning. It's about looking in the future and seeing, are the programs that you have doing well? How are the staff doing as well? And how are they reacting with the constituents? And then you use it to plan future programs because, you know, like Paul, we recently did just an agency-wide survey to try to gather from people what they need so that we're not making assumptions as an organization, but we're having them tell us what they want.
And Paul, how about you? How do you use the evaluation results?
About the same way. We tabulate all the results in there. We look at them. We find out what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what we can improve on, and then we actually make improvements into our programs because of the evaluations that we get.
One of the things that both of you do that I think is really quite innovative is your annual Lessons Learned Day, where you, at the end of the fiscal year, look at all the results at one time and say, what do we need to improve for next year across the programs, and then build that into your next year's operational plan. So the action is really incorporated into the planning process. What advice would you give to our participants about making program evaluation an integral part of their organizational culture?
You know, I think that you have to just say that it's a part of your culture, period. It's not an option. You can't look at it as an option. You can't look at it as not a priority, because when you work for nonprofits, often your priorities seem more than what you're able to do, but the evaluation just has to be on the top of that list.
And I agree, the evaluation is so important, because that's how we know if we're doing a good job in that. So we have to have the evaluations and incorporate them into our programs.
Related to that, do you find it useful to your staff as well as to you as executive directors?
I do, yeah. Trying to think on how we can expand that. But the staff, I know that they will go ahead and look at the evaluations, and they will know things that they can improve also. And
so it has to be useful to them.
Yeah, like the registration. There may be some comments of different ways to do registration in an event, and so the staff will look at that and say, oh, yeah, I can do that. So.
And on the same end, one of the things that we've done the last year is that through those evaluations, the staff actually set their own goals based on those evaluations. And I think you have to evaluate the evaluations. It sounds funny, but you have to do that, because every year you've got to be challenging yourself to do better. So that's become a part of our actual evaluation for the staff members as well.
And I like what Mattie said, evaluating the evaluation. We do that almost on a yearly basis. We take a look at the evaluation, and then we evaluate that is this a good evaluation? What do we need to change? What do we need to add? How can we make this evaluation better so that we gain more critical knowledge of what their needs are?
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.